I'm Anil Kumar, and in this video we will learn simple steps to draw triangle that represents vector. So I've taken a vector xy equals to minus 2 4 plus t times 2 1. So that's the vector. Now to draw a triangle to represent this vector, let me first draw the scale here. We'll say this is our y-axis, right? We are working in 2 dimensions or 2. Since these points are kind of above the x-axis, I'll take my x-axis along this side, okay, so that I get more space to work with. Okay, so that's my x-axis. Now to represent the vector, we always start with the position vector given to us, which is minus 2 4, right? So that is the position vector. So we'll call this as r0. So r0 is given to us as minus 2 4. So minus 2, so this is 1 unit, that is minus 2 1 2 3 4, right? That is the position vector. So if you join with origin, you get the position vector. So what we will do is we can take a scale and join it. Okay, so that's better. So we'll just join this. Okay, so this is the position vector which we get. Okay, now from here we have to get this direction. That is the direction. So that is the direction vector d, which is 2 1. So normally it is good idea to always show the direction vector from the origin. So 2 1, that is 1 2 and 1. So this represents the direction vector. Let me just join like this. Okay, so that is d, the direction vector. Okay, this, let me represent this by a point. Let's call this point as p. Okay, now to get the next point on our line, what should we do? We can take different values of t to get a point, right? So different values of t will give us more points. So if I take t as 1, then basically we have to add 2 1 to this point. So adding 2 1 without doing the algebra, we can just go 2 units to the right and 1 up. So that is the second point. Do you see that? So in our case, that becomes the second point. So I draw this line from here. So that is the second point. So we'll call this as r, right? So this is our starting vector. Let me use a different thing. Let's say r0 we started with, always the initial vector, and then we have the second vector r. In between, if we from here to there is the vector. This is the starting position, that's the kind of end position with the second one. So in between, so we can join these two and extend. That gives us the line, right? Now as you can see, this vector from here to there will be s. We'll just call it as s. Okay, now this vector is basically parallel to the direction vector, right? So this, so if you have to write down the coordinates of this point, it is sum of minus 2 4 plus t was 1, so it is 1 times 2 plus 2 1. If I take t as 2, I'll get the next point, right? So similarly, I can get 2 1, so that should have been the second point, and then 2 1, the third point. So likewise, we'll get our line, right? So this line will be kind of like this. Okay, let me go through this. Okay, like this. So this line is what we're talking about, right? So when we say draw a triangle that represents a vector, we are interested in drawing these 3 lines. One is OP, which represents the original vector r0, right? Then we can take t equals to 1. So if I take t equals to 1, then what do I get? I get minus 2 4 plus 2 1, right? So I get the second point. So for t equals to 1, what do we get? Minus 2 plus 2 is 0, and 4 plus 1 is 5, right? So this is what we get. So 0 5, so we get the second point. So this is our vector R. So this is represented by the vector R. And from P to R, let me call this as Q, is the vector S. So that becomes a triangle. So this is the triangle which we are talking about when we say draw a triangle that represents the vector. So the combination of these two is R. So we say R is equal to R0 plus S. Do you get the idea? Now similarly, all the points on this line are or could be represented as R0 plus T times S. So we get more points on this, T times S. That represents a set of points on this particular. So we could have drawn a line from here to this place, right? And this is how many T's we have added? 2, that is 1, 2, and 3. So for T equals to 3, we'll get that point, right? You can do the math, so you'll get this point. So that is the set of points which we will get. Anyway, you could take any value of T. The idea is you can take any value of T. That is your initial R0. If you take T as 1, 2, or 3, that will become your R, and in between is S, which is multiple of your direction vector, right? So that is how you get your triangle. So that's how we represent or draw a triangle in this particular 2 dimensions, right? So that is how it is. As an exercise, what you can do is you can practice to draw a triangle for the vector, let us say, equals to 2 minus 3 plus the parameter. We could write anything. We could write T or S, okay, and let this be a minus 1, 2, okay. So let this practice over this. In this case, you could take R0 as the position vector 2 minus 3, right? R will be T equals to 1, which is 2 minus 1, which is 1, minus 3 plus 2, which is also 1. So that becomes the R, right? And in between the two will be the vector S, right? Will be the vector S, which is going to be 1 times this, right? So which is minus 1, 2. Is it okay? That will be S, represented by this direction. Is it okay? So, I mean, the direction is different here. Anyway, so you could practice sketching your triangle using these values. I'm Anil Kumar, and I hope that helps you to understand the whole concept.